less than $2K turned into $175,000 a year household.
Praise God. That's it.
Yep.
Yo, that's crazy.
Don't play me, pay me. Cut the tech.
What up? What up? What up? Welcome back to another episode of Paid Not Played here on the Cut the Tech channel. I'm your host, Coach Dre, but I am nowhere near the star of the show today. Like today, I'm with two of my favorite students. Every student I have is a favorite, but these two we have a story that is extremely dear to my heart. All right, so we've been looking forward to this for a long time. So I want to introduce y'all. Y'all give a warm CTT welcome to the CTT family alumni, Julio and Natalie Angeles. What's up, y'all? How y'all doing?
What's up, Greg? Happy to be here.
Man, this feels surreal having this conversation.
It does.
Great. So I guess we'll kind of start with where we met. So the way that I met you guys, I met Julio first, right? Julio, you had reached out to me for some coaching, and in our talking, you were like, man, I'm looking for some help for such and such XYZ. And then you mentioned that your wife was also doing CourseCareers also. And so we decided we're going, you know what, let's go ahead and make it a family affair and do some coaching together. Like kind of explain, you know, a little bit of background on you guys, where you were at that point in time and how you had got to that point.
Okay. Yeah. So at that point in time, I was doing door-to-door sales, doing specifically solar sales. And we were just kind of trying to find a way out. It was decent money, but it wasn't like that stability we wanted. The work-life balance was way off, brother. It was just so off. And we knew that there was something out there, you know, and we had dabbled into some tech, testimonies and stories. And so finally, thank God, we got a hold of finding out about our CourseCareers. I think it was through the interview with Anthony O'Neill.
Yeah.
And Cyrus, is it?
Cyrus. Yeah. You're good.
Cyrus. But yeah, I remember seeing his stuff all the time, and I'm like, man, it just seems too good to be true. It just seems like, I don't know. I just kept brushing it off. And by the grace of the Lord, in the situation that we're in, we're like, dude, we got to look into this stuff. We got to look into it. And thank God we got a hold of CourseCareers. And some of your videos, we were really hyped up about that, hearing your story. So it is surreal to be here, man, and just be a part of that blessing. But yeah, we were I was in solar sales. My wife was a dental assistant.
Yeah, so I've been a dental assistant for like a really long time, and there was just like no more growth for me there. Yeah. And so I was like, okay, so I need to like either like move up to like office manager. And I was like, I don't want to do that. So I was like, okay, so sales would probably be the next, thing. And so like at first I was I just wanted to get into tech somehow. And I was looking at I was actually in a boot camp to do like coding, like software development. And I was like, wow, this is going to take way too long. So then that's part of how we found, that's part of how we found CourseCareers as well. And then like, it was just like, just being a dental assistant, there was just no more growth there. Like the money just was not there. Like, didn't matter how hard I worked, how much money I could bring into the office. Nothing was going in. Like my bank account looked the same on my end. What I was bringing in, he was bringing in more, but for me, I wasn't bringing in like really that much,
Gotcha.
Yeah, I was bringing more, but like away from my family. Not, you know what I mean? I would come. I would be working the kind of like the afternoon shift. My family's working morning. Well, my son's in school. My wife's working in the morning, and then they'll get home, and I'm already out on the field. Come home 10, 11 to midnight, closing deals, solar deals. Because my job starts when everybody gets out of work. So and so I was just kind of spending some time with my son in the morning at times, and just on the weekend, just trying to rest up and then spend time with them. And it was decent money. It wasn't as stable, but it was really good money. But it wasn't what we were looking for. So here comes, and I forgot. Yeah, we were doing the engineering. We're like, yeah, maybe the engineering is the route. And then we're like, dude, that's gonna take too long. We got all these bills. We gotta do something quick. We love it, and also like we love that personal interaction with people. Like we like that. And you had mentioned that before in the sales, like, you're not just, and to each their own. Some people kind of don't like to deal with people, and you're just there coding and you're doing all that stuff. You're not dealing with people as much. But we did like the aspect of tech sales where, we're already somewhere, shape or form selling. She was, selling a service at the dental office. I was selling, solar as well. So we like that interaction. So this was like the best route, the quickest route to getting our income up and stability and work-life balance. It's just all in one, man. So
yeah. Dope. How long you guys been married?
11 years. We just hit 11 years.
Awesome.
Yep.
I want to kind of dig into that a little bit. Not necessarily the marriage, but the mind frame in the place where you guys were emotionally before breaking into tech. Like you said, Julio, you were at a space where like I'm working a lot, I'm bringing in a lot of money or a decent amount of money. And Natalie, you were like, I was working, but felt like I was at a ceiling. Like what was it like for you guys at that point in time? Because there was something there. Whenever you see something that makes you want to take a shift in life, it means that something where you are isn't fulfilling what you need. You know what I mean? And you see value in whatever it is that you're going to go do. So what was like the emotion of, what was it like for you guys at that point in time where you're trying to build a family, trying to have that closeness as a couple and spend time with your son, but it's like life is forcing you out of the house, and Natalie is forcing you to feel like a level of inadequacy with what you're bringing in.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was just like,
you would bring the emotional side more to it.
Yeah. I was just like, I for a while, I've been wanting to do something different. I even have my license to sell real estate out here in Florida, but I was like, I don't want to drive around everywhere. Like, that's just not what I want to do. It's just a lot of driving. And, there's no base pay on that. It's all commission, which is good commission. But anyways, besides that, so yeah, it was just, frustrating to keep going to work for years on end and be like, there's more out there than this, and being stuck. I don't want to be stuck in four walls, and God knows I'm not going back to go become a dentist either. So there's just something about sitting in four walls all day. It just didn't, like, four walls and just like debt. It just didn't sit well with me. So I was like, no, that's just definitely, that isn't my career path. And so,
we are in four walls now.
We are in four walls.
Our four walls.
Different. I'm not looking at debt. I can walk outside whenever I want. I'm not tied to like, $500,000 debt from school. I didn't want to live like that. People have like shackles on them when they have all sorts of things. But God bless dentists though. But I just knew that wasn't gonna be for me. So yeah, I guess definitely the emotional side of like, man, there's something more out there. Like there's got to be something different that makes sense. But
yeah, like we definitely felt like at one point, like, man, is there any hope out there? We knew that there was, but emotionally, we were just going through it, kind of just like going through the motions and the frustrations at times that like, man, they're like, what we're living is not it. Like, this is not it, And there was a lot of emotional frustration. We own a home by the grace of the Lord. We came down from Boston to Florida, so we were like trying to live the dream. And with that, there's a lot of, there's the payout here is not the same as up north.
That's another.
So that was a big challenge.
Yeah,
had to find out like ASAP. We found out real quick that the pay is not there, but thank God for the remote jobs. You know what I mean? And CourseCareers and the whole tech sales industry, right? But yeah, emotionally we were just kind of like really stuck and frustrated, and we were paycheck to paycheck and just kind of like, what's gonna happen? Are we gonna lose the house? We were, in a lot of emotional distress at times, with the careers that we had, and so we needed a way out. It was definitely a tipping point. Like, we got to figure this out, And so on that hunting mode, and a lot of praying and seeking God about it, I feel like this was just the best opportunity that He had been preparing us for.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's dope. That's dope. I know that's one of the things that we resonated on when me and you first talked, Julio, was the fact that we share the same faith. And so when you were telling me about that, you were like, yo, this is where I'm at. And I'm looking like this is a mirror because this is where I was when I started. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about that. Like, how has your faith helped in keeping hope? You know what I mean? In a time right now where people are, a lot of people were in the same situation as you guys were in, you know what I mean? And out here just feeling hopeless. Like, how did you guys remain hopeful during that time?
I felt like we didn't have a choice. It was like either you're gonna believe and go ahead, or you're just gonna be stuck.
Yeah.
So that's when, like, at one point, because I remember like a few months ago when you were giving me advice, like Natalie, you're like, Natalie, don't be Natalia, be Natalie.
We definitely gonna get there in a second. Yeah, we are.
Like, just go there and go on the interviews, be yourself.
Yeah.
And I was kind of doing the opposite. And then I was like, man, why can't I just be myself? And then there came a point where I was like, I noticed something that I do in being in the dental office versus when I clock out for the day and I go home. When I'm at the dental office and I would connect with patients. I bring all my energy there. Like, I knew how to, like, you couldn't tell, like, if, I wasn't confident in myself or this and that. Like, I would bring that energy because I was like, we need to make this money here in the office. So I would connect with people, make them feel comfortable, bring all this energy. And then Hulu would be like, babe, you give all this energy to this job you have. Like, why are you not doing that for your job search? Like, all this advice that Dre's giving you, why are you not doing that? And I'm like, wow, that's true. And then, like, one day, it was on a Saturday. I remember we got home from a restaurant. And I was like, you know what? Like, I don't really like sharing on LinkedIn because I'm a very, like private person, like to keep my own stuff. But and I was like, I didn't want to show that I'm being like desperate or I'm being like what's it called? Like that. I didn't want to show like I don't want to be out there like sounding like I'm desperate or anything like that. But I was like, you know what? I'm gonna be vulnerable. I'm gonna put my story out there. I'm just gonna do that because I had a friend that was doing that and he got more attention and more attention to his page and things like that. So I started doing that. And I was like, you know what? Like, I'm going to just throw it out there and just start talking about what I need to talk about and whatever. People care or don't care, whatever. Like, either way, I'm getting into sales. Like, at that point, you got to drop what everybody thinks about you at that point.
Yeah.
So I started like posting like crazy. I started looking around. I started being a little bit bolder. I started like actually calling people, reaching out and things like that, like being a lot bolder. And then, like, after that happened, I think it was within like 2 or 3 weeks, then I landed a role. After I finally took switch. I finally took the advice. And after that switch, I was like, you know what? Like, screw everything. Like, I cannot stay the same. Like, and it's not even like I didn't have a bad job, a bad office. I had a great boss. I had great coworkers. Everything was great. It just wasn't for me anymore. It wasn't serving me anymore. I was like, yeah, I could bring this money into the office, treat the patients, keep everybody happy. I was like, but what about me?
What about
don't play me, pay me, cut the tech.
Really?
It's like the champion.
Yeah. So it was either hope and go ahead or no hope, stay stuck. Like, you have no choice but to move ahead.
Yeah, so. For sure. We go walk back a little bit because a lot of that we going through, and the audience has no idea how we got to that moment. But we lived it, so we get to give them some inside baseball into what happened. So we gonna come back to that most definitely because Natalie, that part of your story is probably my favorite moment as a coach.
Yes.
Because I literally I saw a light bulb flip in somebody's brain, like as I was talking to them. It was the funniest thing in the world to me. But we're gonna get there. All right. So let's go back to you guys started CourseCareers. You're in CourseCareers now. And then Julio, you reached out to me because you wanted some more coaching. Like, what was it about it that made you say, let me get a little bit extra coaching, a little bit more help to go through this process?
Yeah, I feel like we've seen in our lives where anytime we have any coaching, it just helps. It helps, like, this is a whole new field for us, a whole new industry. We heard your story. That helped us out as well. Like, oh, well, Dre did it, then we can do it as well, And so you're already having the background. You already broke in. We're seeing the results on CourseCareers. Like, people reaching out to you, seeing it, So we're like, man, it's instead of me trying to figure this thing out and prolonging this, we need this ASAP. So, let me reach out to him because he's gonna get us several steps ahead than us doing it on our own. You know what I mean? So I always highly recommend. We're like telling a lot of people about CourseCareers now. A lot of people are asking, and I highly always recommend a coach. Specifically you, because the biggest thing, Coach Dre. Because get ready. There's a whole bunch of people that are about to start. They already told me, but the biggest thing that I appreciate from your coaching was the mindset shift that you had. I guess I can share that here, but you were like, I'm not sure if I can share that here. Just that quick part.
You good. Let's talk.
Give all the sauce.
We're here.
We had like back-to-back meetings, so I can't share all the sauce here. But the biggest thing I would say is like you got us to have the right mindset when it came to this. Like the biggest thing was like, don't be like, oh, I'm aspiring to be SDR. Like, no, you are SDR. Yeah. And I feel like that was the biggest mindset shift that we needed. Because other things were saying, oh, well, put aspiring or put looking for higher or whatever, all these other things. But you said, no, you are that. And you're just trying to see who to partner with. So that mindset shift is just like, that's why the coaching is so important. That's why it's good to have a great mentor, because they're going to transfer that mindset, the energy, to give you the tools and everything you need to get there faster, right? I could be at the gym, if I have no idea how to do certain reps or whatever, I'm going to be there doing nothing, or I'm going to injure myself, or I'm going to waste time, right? But when you have the right coach, they're going to say, no, you're doing that wrong. Do it this way, or this is the more efficient way. And so that's why I reached out, because I've seen it in the past when we've invested in coaches and other things that we've gone further, faster, and more efficient. You know what I mean? And so that's why we reached out for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I know I learned a long time ago that it's better to have a mentor because it collapses time frames. Because if somebody else, one of my mentors in life, who I used to pay for actual mentorship, he was like, look, you're not paying me for an hour. He said, you're paying me for 30 years of experience. So if it took me 30 years to learn this, and I'm meeting with you for 10 hours, you just got 30 years of experience collapsed down to 10 hours. Right? So
that's huge.
You can pay with your time and take 30 years to learn what I've learned, or you could pay me a couple of dollars and learn what I learned in 10 hours. Right. And so at that point, it became a matter of what's more valuable, time or the money. Right. And at 40 years old, I'm sitting there looking like, yo, I don't got a lot of time. I don't got 30 years to learn where you at. I need to figure that out in the next couple of weeks if I can. You know what I mean? So I think that's extremely important to have find coaching if you can, and whatever it is that you're trying to do. So when it came to the CourseCareers material, or just the course itself, how was that experience for you guys?
It was pretty good, man. It really gave a good walk. Like, first of all, super affordable right off the bat, bro. Like, we were looking at things that the boot camps was crazy money, like 10K, 11K, 15K. We're looking at boot camps like, dang, this is gonna get us to where we want to be at, but that's a lot of money, man. Like, we don't got that in our we're building things up, so that just wasn't in our budget. And so thank God for CourseCareers, jam-packed with everything that we needed, super affordable. You can't even pay bi-weekly. Like, what? Of course, if you wanted to, like, it's just great, super resourceful, super jam-packed with everything that we needed, super doable. Like, I want people to know it's super, super doable. Like, it's not rocket science. You're not going for it's really doable, and they lay everything out really in a great way, and very easy way for you to be able to jump in right on it, so definitely.
Yep. What about you, Nelly?
No, I think it was a great start with just knowing the like terminology and stuff, because like even though like he's been in sales, there's different like terms and things like that you're not familiar with if you're just like if you go into a job, but like things like BANT, things like SPIN, those are things that I hear on a daily basis at my job that I'm like, okay, I know what that is because CourseCareers spoke about that. So just I feel like it really helped with having the understanding of like terminology and stuff, so that when you go and get the job, it's like, okay, I'm familiar with that. So it was really helpful. And then the 3 books that I recommended on there too, those are really good too.
Yo, what up? Real quick, if you're somebody who's looking to make a career pivot, right, and you're looking for a direction you should go, you should link up with my people at CourseCareers. Now, CourseCareers is the course that I took. It's also the course that most of my students I talk to have actually taken to get into a couple of different fields. And so they've got a few things, whether it be tech sales, IT, UI, UX design. They even have plumbing and construction. So there's about 18 to 20 different career paths that you could take. So find the one that best fits you. And here's the thing about all of them. They are self-paced online courses. You can go at your own speed. You can get it done as fast or as slow as you want to. And once you get the certificate, they also teach you within the course what you need to do to be able to go out here and land the job. So it's going to place you in a position where you have a specified skill and you have something on your resume now that you can go out here and take it to the marketplace so that you can take yourself to the next level. So here's the thing. If you use my link that is down below to go check out CourseCareers, it will save you $50 off of whatever product it is that you decide to go with. Friends don't let friends pay retail. And the best part about the whole thing is before you even commit to buying anything, each one has a free introductory course. So you can go through, take a good look, get some inside baseball on what it is that you'll have to do and what that role entails, and then you can make your decision on if there's something that you want to do. And if you don't find anything that's good for you, then there's no problem, no harm, no foul. Just go on to whatever the next course is that you want to take. But I'm confident that you'll find at least one that fits your skill set, and we'll be able to help you get certified so you can go out here into the market and do exactly what it is that you need to do. Now, back to this interview. Now, we are past, we're in CourseCareers, and now we're starting coaching with Coach Dre. Now, this started with a conversation with me and Julio. Like I said before, Julio was like, look, I just want to get some coaching. I'm in this position. Heard your story. And I'm like, yo, I was in that same position. I want to help. Right. So,
which is guys, affordable, man. It's super affordable for like some other coaches out there.
Yeah.
Which I didn't know until later on after I went with the coach, and I was like, man, Dre, super good deal, man, versus like some people that are out there, like, you know, that really, you know,
that price is going up since we last talked. That price is definitely going up. With inflation and tariffs, my price had to go up. I had to take it up.
Hey,
but
look at the impact. So of course it has to go up. The impact is phenomenal. Like literally. And if you think about it, it pays itself. It pays itself because like we get like 100 times fold, or we get whatever times fold over for that money. So it's worth it. It's like you want to invest in taking months and months trying to land a job, or invest in a coach is going to bring that income. So it just pays you right back. So it's worth it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For sure.
So we start coaching. We get to our first coaching session. Sit down. Me and Julio already have a little bit of rapport. And here comes Natalie. I finally meet Natalie for the first time. She's sitting there, got the baby's running around. So, Natalie's in mom mode. Julio's locked in. Natalie's locked in, but she's all over the place. And then we just start to talking. We start to learn where Natalie is, right? And the fun part about this was when we first started, Natalie said, she was like, Julio has a background in sales. You were kind of new to all this, right? As far as trying to do actual sales, you were doing sales, but you weren't really resonating with being a salesperson at the point in time. So we start going through the material, and Natalie starts to pick it up. It's starting to come to her. But after a couple of weeks, she starts getting interviews, and she can't get over the hump. So we start to have a conversation. Like, what at that point in time, Natalie, what was it that was keeping you from getting over the hump in the interview?
I was getting like too nervous at interviews, and I was feeling like I have to, what if I don't say the right thing? Am I saying the right thing? And I remember you used to tell me it's not what you say, it's how you say it. So it just wasn't like clicking. Like it wasn't clicking because I can be like extremely like logical and then just too focused on the logic. Like, okay, instead of just being like, whatever, like, because he's more like, has background sales, he's more like, he knows how to like connect faster and do all these things. Like he's been in there. He's been out there in the trenches.
Mm-hmm.
I have been in dental. Like I've even worked in oral surgery. Like that's crazy, but it's not like as much people skills as him. So it was just kind of like I would go to interviews and then I would be nervous and I would like try to say the right things instead of being present in the moment and actually just treating the interview like it's a conversation to see if you're a good fit, to see if they're a good fit, because you're just of equal value as they are, because you're going to make them money. You're going to get money from them, but you're making them money. So I wasn't seeing really like, I was getting too nervous and not seeing the value in myself and like, oh my gosh, like what if I don't say the right thing? What if I'm not selected? What all these what ifs. And so like I was going through that at the time, but yeah, so that's what I would mess up on interview. Actually, my first interview was for, and I said this when I had that conversation with Trent, but my first interview was for a dental tech company.
Mm-hmm. I remember that.
She'd tell me about yourself, and I got nervous.
She was a perfect fit for that.
I would have been the perfect fit. Like
candidate.
I have all connections, dude. Like
perfect.
I could have called up all my old doctors and be like, "Hey, we got this product. You want to check it out? Okay, boom, get commission on that demo." Like that would have been it. Like I have doctors' phone numbers on my phone, but so like that didn't work out because she was like, it just ended awkwardly too. She was like, okay, and then that was it. The conversation ended because she was like, dude, like you're way too nervous. Like she didn't say that, but obviously she thought that. So that started there, and then so
let's pause right there. I got a question about that. How did you feel when you got off the phone with her and that call had ended awkwardly and you knew you were the perfect fit for that interview and you went in there and bombed it? Like, how did you feel?
I felt like, wow, I messed up that opportunity. That was like a huge opportunity. Like, and I got stuck on that like for some time. And then I was just like, wow, that would have been wow. So yeah, I felt like awful about it. And then I talked to them and then
I say that because I remember vividly when you had that interview. I remember how excited you were going into the interview. I remember when you told me you didn't get it, and I remember when we met for the first time after that interview, and your energy was like gone, like that hurt. Right. And so I remember that I was like, we did a little exercise. So I said, okay. I said, let's role play. Let's role play this interview because you keep getting hung up. You got hung up on the explaining who you were part.
Just on the most basic thing. Like
I remember saying, I said, do y'all remember this? I said, let me ask you a question, Natalie. I said, if somebody called you and they were trying to sell you a product and you said, all right, tell me about the product. And you started to fumble all over it. I think the product does, and it kind of I think. What do you think about that person? What do you think about that salesperson? Do you remember what your answer was?
I'm not buying, like, because they don't know what it is, right? So
that was it. You said that person doesn't know what their product is. I said, Natalie, you're going into an interview and you are the product.
Mm-hmm.
And when they asked you about the product, you didn't know how to explain your product, and the product is you. That's it.
Bars.
That tells me either one, subconsciously, that tells me if somebody's interviewing you, one, either you don't know who you are, or you're lying to me about who you're saying you are.
Mm.
And so I said, all right, let's role play. And so we. So we sat there and I said, all right, let's role play. I started acting like I was interviewing. When I asked you the about section, you started to do it. And I just stopped you. Stop, Natalie. You're trying too hard. I said, okay, let's do this. Let's act like I just met you and Julio at a bar. Like, this isn't a job interview. It's just two people meeting. I said, all right, tell me about yourself, Natalie. You literally did like this. You went from sitting like this. You set up and you just start talking.
Mm.
As you were talking, me and Julio, I'll never forget that. I'm sitting there looking at you like, and Julio's looking at you like,
Yeah.
No, you talking. You said you stopped and said, what?
I remember that.
At the same time, we both said, you just did it.
Yeah. I loved it.
You were like, what? I said, you just did it. Like exactly what you just did. Why aren't you doing that in the interview? And he was like, oh. Yeah. I said, okay. I said, here's the thing. And this is what you said earlier. I said, Natalie, I said, you're going into the interviews being Natalia. You're being the professional version of who you think they want to hear you be. Yeah. Stop being Natalia and go be Natalie.
Yeah.
And yo, from that day, it was like that switch flipped in your head, like you said earlier. And I started getting on LinkedIn. I said, I don't know. There's one other person in my LinkedIn friends who posts more effectively on LinkedIn than you do. Like you just started, it was like that point where you said you started embracing your story, start telling who you were and this and that. And like you said, a couple weeks later, it was like, I got the interview, I got the job. I'm like, yo. Yo. Like Natalie, it was so wild to literally watch that happen right in front of my eyes. Like that was so dope. Julio, what was it like for you sitting there watching your wife do that? That moment.
It just shows, like, imagine, Dre, if we didn't have you there, it would have probably been a couple months in, few months in, discouraged, and which has happened. Like, we'll feel discouraged and be like, all right, well, this is not working out. Let's go back to what we know to do and just try to figure something else out. So, I mean, it would have been like months of that. So thank God, like the way you were, the coaching and everything was so good. You know, just seeing that spark up is because I've been telling her that. Right? But sometimes she gives me advice. Sometimes we got to hear from somebody else, that's a little more experienced or whatever. So it was just beautiful seeing that. We were laughing that day. We were like, "Why did you do that?" And
it's crazy though. Like when I would go to like a dental interview, I would lay on the job every time. Go to a dental interview, I would just feel like, okay, I know like ins and out of dentistry. Like I'm good. Like I'm gonna land this job. And I would just sit there, vibe with the doctor, with the office manager, with the employees, just be really chill and cool and everything. But mentally, because I'm like, okay, this is a new field. This is sales. Oh my gosh, like I would let it get to my head. So then when I would get there, and then it would be like I would let this imposter syndrome take over. When in reality, like I've gone to dental jobs where maybe I'm not an expert in that particular field of dentistry, but because I'm like, I would bring that confidence, like, well, at least I have experience in it. Then mentally, I would go there prepared. But obviously, when you're interviewing, they know, they can see your resume. You don't have direct sales experience. But if they weren't seeing the confidence, obviously, they're not going to select me. Because if you're not confident in yourself, there's going to be some days where it's going to be a little rough out there on the phones. So that's where, your coaching really helped me to be like, let me just do it. Like, just go out there and do what I got to do.
But I was really happy to see that switch. So your point, I was really, because she went from like kind of being defensive to offensive. Which was, but till this day, like she's just a hunter. Now she's like a hunter. She has to go get it. And she knows that she has to bring that confidence, that energy. So that switch in the coaching was a game changer. So that was awesome to see that in real time. Like, all right,
she embraced her new identity. I'm a professional at this. That is the biggest switch for people to flip, because most people don't treat a certificate like they do a college degree. Right. When my wife became a nurse, the moment she got her nursing degree, she didn't say, I'm still a teacher. I'm still whatever I was before this. No, I'm a nurse. Even before she had her job, like, this is what I do. And she walked around with confidence everywhere she went. I'm a nurse. I'm a nurse.
Yeah.
That's huge.
And so for Natalie, it was, you had the certificate, but you didn't embrace that you were a sales development rep. You were still embracing that you were the dental assistant, because that's what you've done for so long. And once it flipped, and you were like, no, I'm good at this too. This is what I do. Like, her whole energy changed. It was the craziest thing. I said, yo, she gonna be a problem. She gonna be a problem. So she went out. She got a job fairly quickly, right? After that. Julio, what was it like for you though? Post the graduate, because you got a pretty unique story of how you landed your job also.
Yeah, no, I was like, so it took a little longer than what it should, but it's because my own fault at that. Because I remember going to the meeting up with you, and I'm like, bro, I need to get on this. I just been, making money, just like, solar was catching up big time for me, and I was like running a team of people as well. I'm like a little manager, juggling all this stuff.
He was
right?
closing
deals,
managing, driving guys around. Yeah. Like if there was a problem, they would go to him. He just didn't have like that time on his hands like I did.
Yeah. So and I remember Dre just like, bro, you got to make it happen, man. Just try to make it happen. But you were very understanding, And but yeah, it just took a journey there. But we did it. The what do you call it? We did what we could at that time, even though I didn't have that much. A lot of time. We got into things like, all right, so if I'm not able to, because I'm out on the streets, to do as many kind of cold calling them, because I'm over here training these guys and I'm out on the field, then maybe we got into doing the Loom videos. Mm-hmm. So the Loom video ended up being like my cold call in a sense, because I was giving my intro. Thank God my wife put me onto the Loom video, and she had got that from somebody else. And that helped out so much, because I was that was like my little cold call to them. We'll DM them, we would email them that video, and it really grabbed a lot of attention. So that allowed me to position myself and kind of take a little, work around my schedule to start appearing more to these interviews and like first round, second round, and all that. Mm-hmm. And I was able to push through after a while. But I did notice, like, it's funny because I kept coming in with like, maybe advice for anybody out there that's like a closer at another company, right? If you like, I was a SDR and say like a setter in the beginning of my solar experience, but I did full sales cycles, right? So I was really kind of banking on that I was a closer, because I did want to be an AE eventually, but they weren't trying to hear that. So a lot of the times when I was applying, they're like, I mean, that's cool, like that's dope. You do full sales cycle, like you set it and you close it, but we want people specifically that are like setting appointments at high volume. Could you even do that? Could you do that again? Like, could you, so I was learning in real time, like, just like when I would knock doors, like, okay, I would say this. All right, I'm not going to say that again. Learning sales, like in real time, are like, oh, wow, they really gravitate when I said that. Okay, they lean more, they prefer more of this side of me versus this side. Right.
Yeah.
And so I had to learn that in real time, and seeing that take place was really dope. And it kind of just kept building on and building up. And, you tell me, you're going to have to start. I was afraid to post stuff because my other job was going to find out. So Dre's like, bro, you got to just do it, man. Like, you can't be, and not having a lot of activity on my LinkedIn was kind of, I felt like it was delaying things. So they're like, this guy's not even active on that LinkedIn. What is he even about? Who is he? And I kept, like, that was all coming to me. Thank God. Like, people were looking at me like, who is this person? They're not posting anything. Like, I don't know you. You're saying this stuff here, but I really don't know you. So I started getting more active on LinkedIn, but I kind of did it in my own, like, not sneaky way, but like in a way that it wasn't like my job wasn't catching on, that I was trying to leave the job. Right?
Strategic, very, very strategic.
Very strategic. And I recommend that to anybody. Like, you can't afford to lose a job, but you just do it strategically. So I would just post things like, cold calling, or like this and that, like different posts that I had around, building resilience, pushing forward type of posts. Like
things that you do in solar anyway.
Things that I do in solar. Like her, she had a lot of transferable skills, which you kept bringing up in the coaching. Important. You kept bringing, hey, you guys are that. You guys do have those skills. Those are transferable skills. You're doing the same thing over there. You're doing it SDR style where you're currently at. So, and so that was very helpful. And so by the grace of God, I had some of them turn me down because the situation, it wasn't even the ones that I thought I was going to land or whatever, it didn't end up being, and God had the right one for me. So I had got this one that I really, I was transitioning out of solar, and I was looking to jump into it right away, and like I felt like I wasn't getting people weren't giving me that chance. And so
it was like another thing. Sorry to cut you off. I wanted to mention there, I felt like after interviews, people were low key telling you that you were overqualified. And that was an issue. It was like, they're like, but why do you want to be a setter?
I forgot. Yeah, that was a big thing. I even had a couple of them say, this is kind of like too junior of a role for you. Like they literally told me that, because they're like, you would be better as a closer, but we're not looking at for AEs right now. So that was going on, you know. But eventually I landed this. I don't know if we get into that part now, but I had.
Let's get into what it was like when y'all landed your jobs, and we'll do now since we're doing a chronological order. So Natalie, since you landed yours first, and then we'll come, because I know more about Natalie's story. There's parts of Julio's story that I've been giving glimpses into, and I'm like, yo, don't tell me yet. I want to know. I want to hear that live with everybody else. So Natalie, what was it like when you got your role? When you first landed that role?
Yeah, so it was okay. So what do I? So all right, my towards the end of me landing a role, I had 3 companies lined up that I was interviewing with. And all 3 of them, it was through LinkedIn, from reaching out to decision makers, all 3 of them. So one of them, they froze hiring. And then the other 2, I was still like interviewing with them. The one that froze hiring, though, they said like they'll consider me in the future, blah, blah, blah. But whatever, I have my job now, so I'm good. So what should I say? How should I say this? Yeah. So 2 of them were dental, and then one of them wasn't, which is the one I'm at now. So the last 2, I was waiting for a reply. I was waiting for a response on like a job offer. I basically asked the recruiter like what she thought, and she's like, I think you have an answer for everything really quickly, and that's the type of people that we need here. But that I developed in going to many interviews over time. You saw I went from being stuck to being a little bit quicker with responses and stuff. So took a little while to get there, but so the last 2, one of them was waiting to hear back. And then my interview with Pay Skill, they were a little bit quicker. So I was going through the interview process. Every interview I went to, I tell them like, hey, like I am interviewing with other companies, because you need to give them basically a timeline to know like, hey, you're going to snatch me up or I'm going to get snatched up. One or the other. Something's going to happen.
I got options out here.
Yeah, exactly. So the other company took too long. Pay Skill, within an hour, the VP messages me, we're going to offer you the job within an hour. It was quick. So then I was like, wait, what? I was still hearing the back from that other company. And then I was like confused. I was like, which one should I go with? I don't know. Oh my gosh. Like, and then I'm like, well, and then I kind of just like narrowed it down, like, which one, like pros and cons. Like I already did research on the companies, and I kind of saw which one was more established, which one is still trying to figure things out, little things like stuff like that. So when I landed the role, like I just couldn't believe it. I was like, wait, what? So then, the other one I reached out to, and I said, hey, you know what? I went with Pay Skill, but thank you for the opportunity, blah, blah, blah. So wait, you were asking me how it was when I landed it, right?
Yeah. What was your reaction when you first landed?
I was shocked.
Got it.
I was like, oh my God, like, no way. Like,
it worked.
I was just like shocked.
Yeah.
I was like, and then I wrote on LinkedIn, I was like, I got a verbal offer. And then like people started liking it like crazy. And I was surprised. I was like, I have like 350 likes, a bunch of impressions. I was like, wow, people are actually like reading my stuff.
Yeah.
But so it was just like, I couldn't believe it. And I was like, wow, like, okay, now I need a physical offer. I need it on paper so I can tell my job. I got it pretty quickly on paper, told my job at the time. So it just didn't feel real. I was like, this is really like, I'm not looking at teeth no more. Like, I love teeth. Teeth are essential. But I don't have to do that no more. Like, so.
It's a huge, huge answered prayer.
Yeah. I was like,
what was your reaction, Julio, when you found out from that? When you found out about Natalie landing her job?
It was really great. It was a huge answered prayer, brother. Like, it was a huge answered prayer. Like, for years, like, just pushing through, trying to figure it out. And her seeing that switch, like, I've been wanting her to get more like kind of aggressive with it. And you know, and so just seeing that, it was like, wow, this is the beginning of the answered prayers that we've been waiting for. So it was awesome. And hey, she got it before me, brother. So I was like, look at this. And she got it before me because she was out putting in the work. She was out there, brother, like at night applying, you know, when she got out of work, you know, after spending time with my son, cooking dinner, and she would spend that time applying and searching and DMing and like really putting more of aggressive push on it. And, you know, I was so happy, like, wow, it's, you know, I mean, she landed it, then I could do it too. It just really pumped me up, like, let's go, I'm next, let's go, you know? So I was so happy to see that because she finally, she's been wanting to get away from the dental into like where she feels like she's more useful, using her different, what do you call it? Like those different skills that she feels like she's been burying for years, or just kind of
like
freezing for years.
It'd be like, sorry to interrupt, but you said that about the skills. So it'll be like, I will talk to the patient, whatever, get them to sign the plan, agree, collect the payment. Okay, let's go, let's get this done. And then I'm sitting there suctioning. And then, okay, now we're gonna do a temporary crown. Okay, now we're gonna scan. I love the scanner, but
pay me to,
just,
you know?
it was just like, I'd rather be in a situation where I'm speaking more and get more money, because be compensated for the work I put in, because I'm working really hard, but I'm just seeing the same paycheck over and over again. Like, it don't make no sense.
That's good. That's good. So are you fully remote?
Yes, both of us.
Okay, got you. So you're fully remote. What was the compensation?
Well, 75 OTE.
Okay, got you.
I recently just got promoted to outbound, so it's a little bit higher. And then it's a little bit higher, and then like commission is going to be higher too. So
you started as it was 75 and it was all inbound?
Yeah.
Wow. What was the base pay?
45 for inbound.
Okay. So for those that are confused on what we're saying, the way that the pay works in tech sales and most companies, it's a base pay. So your base salary that you make, that's show up, sit down in a seat money, right? So Natalie was getting paid $45K to sit at a desk at home and just log in. Okay. But then there's also the commission side, or your on target earnings, is if you book a certain amount of meetings during a month over a year, that'll equal out to another 30,000. So basically making 75,000 from home, right? Did you have uncapped commission?
I mean, if we exceed the quota, we get more money.
Yeah. So you can make, and with most companies, there's uncapped commission, so you can make more than that 75,000, and you just got a raise and a promotion. And how long has it been?
Top of the leaderboard. She's
one of the top.
But she wasn't there.
I was top for a few weeks straight.
Dental assistant.
Dental assistant to tech sales professional, and one of the best at the company. This is so dope. How long have you been there?
End of April.
So you've been there 3 months and already got a promotion. This is great. All right, cool. So Natalie's now fully remote, making 75K. And then Julio, what was your story? Because I heard it was like a couple of little speed bumps in your story as far as where you landed and how you got there, and there was some rejection and some offers received, and then some other stuff going. So just tell us about that. Walk us through that.
All right. So I remember applying to a few jobs there, and there was one that I really resonated with, that had to do with AI software for car dealerships. And so it went really well. I hit made it to the last round, the VP. I had spoken to the CEO. Like, I thought I had that in the bag. I thought it was it. And spiritually, I was just like, I felt like such a connection. Like this is it. Like, this is it. Even before the interview, I would like to say this part. I even felt, just to add the faith side to it, there was other interviews where I felt like I had to prep extra, and I had to have all these questions down and all these things, like, all this preparation before the interview. And for this one, I felt like, the Lord was like, it's not going to be that type of interview. It's like going to be like a more chill laid back. I have no background of this, of who, the VP is or nothing. Right. And I just felt like I was still kind of scrambling, like, all right, I'm still gonna, because maybe that's just me, but I felt like God prompted me, like, no, do what I'm telling you. I relaxed, went in the probably the most chillest interview I've ever had in my life. Yeah, it went super well. It was just that. It was just like him just trying to get to know me, like how do you think about this and that? Shout out to Sean. So it was a big blessing. And but yeah, I got hit with a ton of breaks of that they had went with somebody else. And I was like, what? How could this be? After all that happened, I was like, just second get, like, what? How could this be? And it just hit me with a ton of breaks, but I just felt like I had to, and all that stuff was going on with my job. I just was like, I just got to keep pushing. This wasn't it. I guess this wasn't it, And so I had to keep pushing through. I ended up getting an offer somewhere else, and they were really quick to hire. They were like, the interview process was quick. Everything was quick. The base pay wasn't where I wanted to be at. It was way lower than the usual. And still good. It was still like, we were going to be able to pay our bills. I was going to be able to, dip out of solar, work at home. So it was a big blessing. Like, I was like, look, I'm going to humble myself. Like, I'm going to take it and I'm going to grow. I'm going to grind and I'm going to prove myself that I can do this, this is what we were praying about. So, hey, it's a lower base pay. Anywho, I'm going to take it anyways. And so I went in there, got hired, got to, right off the bat, started, making my calls, exceeded, quota just starting there. Thank God, like, just showing me like, hey, I can do this, And, but I felt like, after being a couple weeks in, I felt like, hey, circle back on that other job, circle back on them, and I had reached out, I had messaged them again, and I said, hey, I didn't burn the bridge, and I was like, hey man, how's everything going? I just kind of wanted to see where you guys were at, and how's that position going with the new SDR? Are you guys, what's BDR, like what's going on? And he had messaged me saying, you're gonna hear back from me in a week.
Oh,
what?
Whoa.
I was like, what? I couldn't believe it. And he hit me up the following week with the director of sales that was there. We did that interview. He was getting familiar with me, and because they just had hired they were literally building their team. It wasn't even ready, like, fully, and that's what was kind of delaying things. So I feel like he had me in mind, but he had told me, like, just be patient. He literally had told me, because I kept kind of just trying to make it work, and he's like, just be patient with me, man. I'm just building up and I'm getting things prepared. Just be patient with me, right? And so we set up an interview with the director of sales, which he had just brought on like a few weeks prior. And I interviewed with him, went super well as well. And he's like, yeah, we're gonna let you know maybe by next week. If we're gonna, what's gonna happen. Just, you'll hear back from us probably next week. And so I was like, wow, this could be it, And I'm expecting it to be next week. They ended up giving me the offer letter. Our 11-year anniversary was, I think it was that Friday or Saturday. They ended up sending me the offer letter. It was Friday. They ended up giving me the offer letter for that job on the day of our 11-year anniversary. By the grace of the Lord, praise God. The job I really wanted, the base pay is where it needs to be at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But OTE is 100K.
Are you? Is it a BDR role or is it a AE role?
It's a BDR role. Yeah, but I'm going to soon to be AE. Like, that was part of the deal where, like, further down the line, we will want you to be an AE. So, gotcha. Like, is that something I was interested in? So that was part of the deal where, like, further down the line, you're gonna be able to be an AE a lot quicker than other companies that you would have to be there for like a year or 2 or 3 years at times. So yeah, it was like God just God's blessing, like boom, you know, right on your anniversary, you got the offer letter. And,
that's so freaking dope, bro. So,
yeah.
y'all, so just to paint the picture, y'all started this route together. Y'all went through this. She got her role. Natalie got her role first. You were still going through what you were doing over at Solar. Y'all get hit with something. You got to leave. You leave there. You have the interview for the company you're at now. It goes great. Guy said no. Pause. Wait. No, you can't have that yet. You get discouraged, and come to find out, it was all because God wanted to give you an anniversary gift.
Wow. Wow. Man, God is great. I love that.
That is you can't write this stuff, bro. Like you cannot write this stuff.
You can't, man.
That's insane. That is insane, man. Like that's crazy. So y'all combined now, OTE are making over 175K.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, yo, dog, I'm telling y'all now, if y'all made it to this part and y'all have not signed up for CourseCareers, or if you're in CourseCareers and you ain't got no coaching from Coach Dre, the doggone, you need to sign up quickly. We're talking about a crazy ROI here.
Yes.
All right, so look, if you made it this far into the interview, you know that the students I'm talking to are students who I have worked with personally. Now, how does that work? Well, I offer career coaching. Whether you're somebody who's trying to make a career pivot and get into a different field, I can help you with that. But mostly what I work with is students who have either joined one of the courses and are currently going through it, or I work with students who have gotten certified and now they just need to go and get the job. And I do that through a ton of different ways. So you can go check out the link at Cut the Tech Worldwide, and there you'll see all the different coaching options that I have. I mean, everything from a quick little consultation for you if you just got questions, to some full-on one-on-one coaching experiences where I'm able to help take you from certified to hired in a quick amount of time. Matter of fact, here's one of my students. Let them tell you.
So after I finished the course, I didn't really know what to do. I knew I wanted to land a job, and I began the process of applying, but I wasn't really that successful. So I decided to hire a coach, and I could not be happier with my choice of Dre. From day one, we went through mindset training, interview prep, resume reviews, all the stuff I would need to land a job, and eventually, within I want to say maybe 5 weeks of using him, I landed a well-paying remote sales position. I couldn't ask for a better coach. He really helped me through. He really cares, and that's honestly the best part. He really genuinely wants to see you succeed, and that's what makes him awesome. Really happy. I would recommend everyone to try out Dre. He will get you to achieve the goals and the life that you want.
Stop thinking about it and just do it. Dre is the best coach out there. We only met twice, and he helped me to level up my LinkedIn, where people and companies are reaching out to me, and also my application process to where I'm 100 for 100. Like everyone I reached out to following his plan landed me an interview. All right. So I now have some offers that I'm waiting to accept or decline because I accepted a different one. But yeah, make sure you lock in with him. Stop thinking about it. And remember, don't play us, pay us, cut the tech.
So look, this is what we do. I have literally helped hundreds of students go from certified to hired and land jobs going anywhere from $60,000 to $100,000 a year. So before you commit to anything on the site, I also have a place where you can register for a free webinar that I do every single week. So you can jump on, you can be a fly on the wall, or you can interact with us. You can ask questions, all the things that you want to know before you either commit to doing the course or commit to getting some extra coaching. I am here to answer all those questions. So go to the website, hit the link, register for the free webinar. I can't wait to talk to you. Now, let's finish up this interview.
That's crazy. And y'all, I'm doing math. Y'all spend less than $2,000 for y'all to go through CourseCareers all together, right? For both of y'all. With coaching.
Yeah. Less than 2K. Yep.
Less than 2K turned into $175,000 a year household.
Praise God. That's it.
Yeah.
Yo, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That is so crazy, man. That's insane.
Yeah. Yep.
And y'all did it in the middle of a world where there are layoffs everywhere. The tech isn't hiring anymore. Like, I hear it every day. Do you want to talk about how bad it is in tech? Like, yo, y'all do realize for every company that's doing massive layoffs, there's another company that's doing mass hiring. Like, the news just don't tell that part. And so while people are getting laid off, Julio gets started at a basically startup company. He basically said, "Look, we want you. We building our team out now. What's up?"
Yeah.
Man, that's so dope. That is so dope, man. Like y'all, y'all one of my favorite stories. One of my favorite stories.
Listen,
Hey man, I'm just happy to be a part of it. Like God, this is what I love to do. I love hearing the stories like this, man. That's so dope. So I guess I would say this: if you guys both, and Natalie, you can go first, and then Julio, you second. If you could go back and talk to you before you signed up for CourseCareers, what advice would you give yourself?
I would have done it quicker. But I didn't know about it. I didn't know about tech sales. I didn't know about SDR. I didn't know about anything. Like, and it's funny because I've been wanting a remote role because it just works better not having to be in traffic, not having to, it's just, so I've been wanting a remote role, and I tried to land one for a while, but it just never worked. And then Julio would always say there has to be a really good one out there. I didn't know about tech sales and that. Yeah. And all I would see is like jobs that like require this, require that, whatever. And I was not landing a remote role like anywhere, but I didn't know about tech sales. I didn't know about CourseCareers. So if I knew about this sooner, I would have done it a lot sooner, because I've been looking for a remote role. Back in like 2023, I was dying to find a remote role. So yeah, I mean, if I could speak to myself back then, I would let myself know about CourseCareers and start there.
That's huge. I mean, like if you think about it, I guess it wasn't, I don't know, CourseCareers, but if we would have a coach that was in like a remote job, we probably would have got a remote job sooner. I would say, bro, you better jump on this right now. Like, this is real. Because like I said, I kept brushing it off. I would say, this is real. I got the job. Jump on this ASAP. Go all in. Don't be, brushing it off like it's a little thing. This is worth it. Go all in on it, full throttle. And if you really want this, you want to be working home 9 to 5, be with more with your family, work-life balance, benefits, really great base pay, like opportunity to be an AE and get way more of a base pay and just scale up. Like, just go all in on it. Like, go all in on it and get a coach ASAP. The quicker you get the coach, the better. And that's what I would say. I would say just go all in on it. This is real, and that was the biggest thing. I think we live in a society, we don't know what's real or not, but this is like, we're not doing this to, to trap people in. This is like this is a real life story, We believe in God. We have faith in the Lord. And if the Lord you feel like he's got, and I feel like this was part of the podcast, like a lot of people that are in the faith space as well, that they have faith in the Lord, they've been wanting to do more things for the Lord, or they've been wanting to have all these little projects and things they wanted to do, but the work-life balance is not there. The income is not there. And that was our case for years. Like, we wanted to do more things for God or more projects that we had on the side. And the work-life balance wasn't there and the pay wasn't there. But now it is. So it's a wrap now, brother. We're working on different things, that we wanted to do, and now we're able to, So,
Yeah, it gets fun. It gets fun.
Dope,
man. Dope. Well, I ain't gonna hold y'all too much longer because it's Saturday. I want y'all to get back to y'all day, go enjoy yourself. But I thank y'all so much for y'all time, for sharing y'all story, because this is gonna impact somebody on a deep level. And like you said, Julio, we're not here trying to gas nobody up. Look, this changed my life. It changed our lives. If you think something could change your life, try it. If not, don't. We don't care. We're good either way.
Yeah. I tell people all the time, sometimes I'm like, I'm not trying to recruit nobody. Like, I literally can't even recruit you here. I'm just trying to put you guys on and share this blessing with everybody. Like you said, it's like gate kept or something for years. I knew people were doing this. I just didn't know how to get in.
Yeah.
And so
we ain't gatekeeping. We ain't gatekeeping. We opened the floodgates. You heard? Yeah. Cool. So y'all know, y'all are CTT family. Y'all are alumni. Y'all are gang, right? And so y'all know we have a motto. And the motto that we say it loud, we say it proud. You said it earlier. And we live it. Like, it ain't just something we talk about. We actually live it. It's how we got to the space that we at. So
man.
I want y'all to count it down, and y'all take the family out by breaking the huddle. Since y'all the MVPs today.
Let's go. Count it down. Count it down.
Yep.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Don't play me. Pay me. Cut the text.
You heard?
Don't play me. Pay me. Cut the tech.